MILOU'S first brush with the law. It all happened a few years ago now, and it was the very same day we went to collect the newest member of our family. In fact, it happened on the way home. MILOU came to us via friends who live further up country in our department of Maine and Loire. In fact, they live near a forest area north of Beaujais, almost into the Sarthe department. They were actually visiting their local rubbish collection tip, we might call it, to take something or other, and on their way through a short forest area noticed a little white dog sat at the side of the road. On the return journey, the little dog was still there. As this part of the story goes, they loaded their car and went to the tip for a second time. That dog was still sat at the roadside. On their return journey they stopped and invited the dog into their car. He hopped in and went to their home. The little dog had no markings or collar to say if he had an owner, so the couple asked around and spoke to the local town hall. They were asked if they could look after the dog for a short while. After the prescribed time had passed, the town hall told our friends that they could keep the dog, as nobody had come forward to claim it. Now our friends already had a dog, and the two did not seem to be the best of friends, so another home was sought. Our friends belonged to a local club which met most Fridays. Members were circulated with information saying that this little dog needed a new home. We expressed our interest, but MILOU, his name with us, found a new home ahead of us. He was duly pampered with grooming and clipping, but unfortunately his new owners had some chickens that MILOU took a liking to chasing. Little dogs are very nippy and difficult to catch once having escaped. MILOU loved that racing around chasing feathered friends, but the owners did not, and he soon found himself at a small local dog refuge not far from La Flèche in the same area. The club members were circulated once again, and this time we were lucky. We spoke to the dog refuge lady, completed all the necessary details, and fixed a date to collect MILOU, who had gone to see the local vet for the operation, which the dog lady from the refuge thought wise in the circumstances. Consequently, there was some delay with collecting him. On arriving at the dog refuge that particular afternoon, Michelle, the owner, explained that MILOU was quite ready to travel, but he did have a distinct need to escape. She finally put him in a larger unit, which was the most secure she had. MILOU by now looked distinctly smart. He was well groomed and well washed, something we were to note for the future. All necessities completed, we headed for home, which is a bit over an hour by car from La Flèche. Ruth sat on the back seats so she could provide some comfort for our new friend, who had passed through several pairs of hands in the last month or so and might have been feeling by no means secure. That was one of the reasons why we were stopped on that journey home. About halfway we came to the small town of Jumel on the main road south. It's a village straddling the main road. There is a sort of square in the town to one side, just opposite the parish church. And just before the church is a turning to the right, and it's here we were stopped by a gendarme. Driving carefully on entering the town, I'd seen a light like a torch pointing in my direction. Getting closer, it began to wave from side to side, and eventually I could see the blue uniform behind the light. There was only very basic street lighting in the town, and by now it was 9:30 in the evening and quite dark. I pulled in to the right, just off the road and next to the gendarme gentleman, who signed for me to lower my window. We began with pleasantries like good evening, and he explained that he had stopped me because he was looking for the driver. I explained that I was the driver and showed him the steering wheel. "Ah, yes," he said, all in the French language. "But you see, as you approached me, all I could see was that you had a French registered car, but I could see no driver in the left-hand seat. You can understand I was naturally concerned. I went on to explain that Ruth was sitting in the rear to comfort our new friend on his first journey home. And while this conversation was progressing, I did notice he was looking carefully at the stickers I was displaying on my windscreen on his side. "Well, that all seems in order, sir," he said finally. "Have a good journey and good evening to you both." In France at the present time, all cars have to display their current insurance sticker and CT sticker. The CT is the same as the MOT test in the UK. Over here though, the test for cars is for every 2 years. Note about Milou. Why Milou for a name? Many of you have heard or seen the French cartoon character Tintin, who has a little white dog. In the UK, Tintin's dog is called Snowy, but here in France he's called Milou. And our Milou is the double of that little dog belonging to Tintin. So there we are, that's that little story, brought to you by Cracker Books and written and read by Keith Sanders. If you're watching this story on our YouTube channel, can we ask you, if you liked the story, could you give us a like, and the YouTube people will know that you like what we're doing. Also, if you were to subscribe, which doesn't cost anything, then the YouTube people will let you know when we produce something different. As by way of a little advert, if you want to look at our other publications, you can find links to them all on our website www.crackerbooks.fr. On there you'll find links to over 200 YouTube videos now. There are over 200 individual audio stories, and we've produced 10 complete ebooks. They're all free to download to any device you choose. There's hours of entertainment there if you'd like to have a look. www.crackerbooks.fr. And for the time being, thank you for watching.